Please hold it like this. Okay. This apparently just came out like today. And I'm just gonna check it out for a little bit because it just seems very silly. But it's called Hero of Law. Love the remix. Unfortunately, I don't have any Phoenix Wright experience, so I'm not going to get the most out of this. But I like Zelda. All right. Will Link be prosecuting Zelda ROM hacks? Probably. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation. No one could make such a blunder, princess. Well, I guess I should just go in then. Oh my god. I can't believe she would do this. He's really dead. You'd think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? Yeah, guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. Speaking of her, though, where is she anyway? Hey, you, over there. Huh? What is it, attorney? Trial isn't starting yet. But it will soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so... I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she's currently in the prosecutor's lobby. We wanted to talk to her as well. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she will definitely be here before the trial. Great. That'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Hi, one of the devs here. For the record, this mod was made with people who never played Ace Attorney in mind. New mechanics will be explained to you. Just thank you, Dev. Quick question. How long of a game is this? I'm not planning on checking out the whole thing. I just wanted to spotlight it for a little while, which will probably be not so great because people are going to get invested in the story, but, you know. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? See, there she is. No need to get all worked up. 2.5 hours or so. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? There's only one case. Okay. So much for looking professional. No, don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malin. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castletown all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. 2.5 to 4 hours I'm seeing. So, I'll probably do like a half hour, 40 minutes of it. We'll see. If everything's fine, why do you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yeah, the investigation. I found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what'll happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. Probably just did that so we wouldn't have as much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I'd never. Yeah, of course I believe you. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. What's that you've got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of Father I carry around. Just can't believe he's gone. Wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Oh, this is the, court record, if anyone's interested. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh, how so? Well, you look so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Ah, well, here you go then. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what happened exactly? This is... apparently this is very, very accurate to Phoenix Wright. I don't stand much chance if I don't know your version of the story. Oh shit. Uh-oh, shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The prosecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases, and lost some too, but this one's personal. So much is at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, gotta find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. I like Link's outfit. Oh my god. It's the Owl Man. What's his name? Raru. Yeah. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Lon Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking, pitting me against some pathetic kid? Pathetic kid? What gives you... Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Dragmire. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? Now, this court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. Yes, Ganondorf Dragmire is his full name. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. The girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. Also, she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die, naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Objection! Huh. She committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary would go amiss. Bah. I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all of the damning evidence. Who is this guy, and how can he speak to the judge like that? Annendorf Dragmeyer. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. Wait, what timeline is this? Is this the successful Link lawyer school training timeline? A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently he prides himself on nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has that look, at the very least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well, please present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring Impa and the Sheikah force to stand. The stand. Well, here we go, the first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. All right, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Wow. Now stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh, man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True, for now at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking! You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Huh! It's a great line. I like some of the melodies from Ocarina are in the songs here. It's pretty great. Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement. I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Lon Lon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. Tragic loss for our kingdom, for sure. I've seen the man around Castletown a number of times delivering goods. The owl theme. Quite. The owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard, who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services to ensure it is operating as it should. As a gesture of appreciation, the Crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. Scheduled annual visit. Continue, detective. When the Sheikah force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out on the floor. Next to him lay his daughter, Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her. She was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succinct. Keep that up, and perhaps you will keep your job. Oh, I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she's head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of the detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? Ah, that would be because I have been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I'm not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the king felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who's involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the king? Well, as I said, Lon Lon Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. I imagine the king wanted the top investigators on this job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Wow. It's the end music when this shit's collapsing. Order! I will have order! Royal Princess Zelda witnessed the crime. And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. To doubt it would be to doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. As an Ace Attorney fan, this hack hits all the notes to a T, says a chat member. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch. The victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Would this lead you to play an Ace Attorney game? Not one of my primary interests, but, you know, this is fun. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report, performed by the Crown's top coroner. You know, when you think of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, you don't think of autopsies. It's just so fucking weird. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. It's the fucking saw. Make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're going to paint Malin as some kind of heartless monster. I don't know why that's my Link voice. There is one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally. Who do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to be only milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well, thank you for your thoroughness, Detective. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Ah, great! How does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Sure. The witness will repeat her testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B. You'll just repeat it as many times as you want? That's right. I have to consider every little detail. Can't miss a thing. Go back to the club. If I want more info about something, I can use L and Z to press the statement and ask a witness a question. Grill them for info. Yep. Since the witness has come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting for more info can make them slip up. Most importantly, though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. It's a list of all the evidence, right? I can open it any time if I need to recheck the facts. After choosing the contradicting item, I'll press up C to raise an objection and present my doubts to the court. Oh, and I can not only present evidence, but profiles as well. Profiles? The court record contains a list of all the people involved, too. I can switch between evidence and profiles with R. I can also press start to see a history of messages. Okay. Well, I'll give this a shot for a little bit. I'm very, a fish out of water here, but let's take a look. Is the defense done whispering? Sorry. If he's so upset about it, why doesn't he just press C to the right to skip ahead? The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness! There it is, the pose. Bah, a waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmire. In any case, we're ready, defense. Please begin the cross-examination. It is with regret I agree with Dragmire. Okay. It took place inside the ranch. There are only 3 people on the ranch. Victim, the defendant, worker who was an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out on the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon, without a doubt, that was used to kill. Seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Press her on the alibi. Hold it! 3 people, you say. Guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Ingo fucking murdered him. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you'd notice she'd mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Pretty certain. Well, what's the alibi then? You might remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. While the worker, Ingo, was in charge of them, he left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. That's so. Surely he could have gotten away from that one really quick little murder. Yeah. Bah! This wouldn't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. You'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement, too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all into crates, and then finally load them all up onto a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own? Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me, but I guess I have nothing to dispute it with. Hmm. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer have just cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house at Lon Lon Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Bah! There wouldn't have been enough time to pull that off anyway. Likely true. Right. Sounds like the location of the crime scene is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. Autopsy report. 8 a.m. All the evidence points to the girl being the culprit. What makes you think she's the culprit? She's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. Right. Sorry. Indeed. As I was saying... Oh. Supposed murder weapon. This saw here, found in Malon's hands, clean of blood. Interesting. How do I present this? See up. Huh? This seems like a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The state of the saw is currently in... The state the saw is currently in is how you found it at the crime scene. That's correct. That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ha! Is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Bah! Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she had just stumbled upon the scene. Why wouldn't this be presented or mentioned earlier? Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloodied cloth into evidence. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Well, anyway, Epona... I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. Then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh goodness, are you okay? Or rather, goddesses. Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used that cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha! Ha! A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah force had to use a fairy on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. Gotta have a little bit of a Zelda flair to this. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain a sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Oh, why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slammed my hand with the gavel, and one took the pain off immediately. Great. Glad to know they're used for such important things. But, dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. I do believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone! Fine. But you'd best treat Her Highness with respect, or I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. I'm gonna leave it here, chat. I think you got an idea for it. I might come back to this. I mean, you could play it. It's called Hero of Law. And I know you're getting into it. We're just getting into the story now. But before we call Zelda to the stand, I do want to do the rest of my Sunday stream. I didn't realize this was going to be this extensive. But I like this. I think it's cool. I could see myself coming back to this. So I'm saving. I gotta save right here. I mean, I want to know what happens now. I don't know. I'm like invested in this story, in the case. So yeah, that's amazing. Again, as someone who doesn't know Phoenix Wright and is not really particularly like well versed in that kind of thing, it's just really good. It's just like really, really well done, and chat seems to like it. So yeah, that was cool. Well, chat, we'll take a break. Maybe during this week coming up, I'll finish that. Here's a song, and I will return in just a moment with more Mario thing.